Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the DC Direct Arkham Asylum action figure box set. This is a 4-pack based off Arkham Asylum, but not the video game. This is based off the comics. You can see we have Killer Croc in orange prison shorts, Joker in orange prison pants with a straitjacket, Penguin's in a white suit, and then Batman, black and gray paint scheme. I believe it's a repainted version of the Batman and Son Batman, but we will check that out in this video. Each of these figures had an individual release, but these are slightly different repainted versions, and I've been trying to track this down for a long time to complete my different Batman Rogues Gallery variants. Shout out to my boy Cloud from Instagram for pointing this out to me on eBay. I got this for a pretty fair price nowadays. It's an expensive item. Now this thing is still sealed, and it's going to be hard for me to open it, as I'm an in-box collector and a loose collector. I would love to have one of these sealed as well, but I bought this thing to open and enjoy, so that's just what I'm going to do. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, comes with an exclusive comic, Batman Arkham Asylum Special. Includes a 64-page comic book, Arkham Asylum action figure box set, a little warning, and DC Direct. 4 figures here, 3 Bat Rogues and Batman. The top, Batman box set featuring Batman, the Joker, Killer Croc, and the Penguin. One side of the package, you can see all the figures here. It looks fantastic. Other side, exact same thing. At the back, here's the comic. You can see it through the window box packaging. Batman, the villains on the other side. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode in case that somehow happens to help somebody. So with no further ado, let's open it up. Alright. Now that these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. They really don't come with very many accessories. Each one of the figures has a display stand. Penguin has the only traditional accessory, his umbrella, and then of course, there's that comic. In this video, we're going to take a look at each of the figures individually. We'll check out their accessories, height and articulation, or lack of. The one I'm most excited for is Killer Croc, and then probably the Joker, and then Penguin and Batman. I recognize Killer Croc and Penguin from DC Direct's Secret Files and Origins Rogues Gallery line, and I think Batman is from the Batman and Son line, but Joker here I can't place. I don't know if he's unique for this 4-pack. If anyone has any information, drop me a line below, but he does not look familiar with that straitjacket. So, let's start off with the accessories they all share, and then we'll move into Killer Croc, the one I was personally most excited for out of this set. So each one of these figures comes with a display stand. Now personally, I'm not an action figure stand guy. I think figures look bad when using an action figure stand. But that's because I like to have them in real world type settings. A lot of people just have them on display, which is cool as well. Each one of them says Arkham Asylum at the bottom, black perfect circle, 1 peg, thin and basic, very similar to what McFarlane's offering right now. Now let's look at this comic. It says Batman Arkham Asylum Special, and I wasn't really sure what it was. But on the inside, it says it is originally published in Showcase 95 number 11, Batman Chronicles number 3, Batman 586, and Robin 85. So you can see, Batman Arkham Asylum Special. We have Arkham Asylum, some of the villains, Batman. Backside, advertisement for a bunch of other DC Direct figures. Man, those were good times. Rest in peace, DC Direct. And it just so happens I have these books in front of you. Showcase 95 number 11, the Batman Chronicles number 3, Batman number 586, and Robin number 85. So let's start off with Killer Croc, the one I'm most excited for in this set. I'm most excited for him because I believe he's the last variant of Killer Croc I need to have a complete 6 and 7 inch action figure collection of his. Now these are some older DC Direct figures. The articulation is quite a bit more limited than today's standards. And DC Direct used to have some problems with breakage, so I really hope none of these figures break. But so far so good. Croc here has been released before in the Secret Files line. He had different shorts on. So let's take a look. Killer Croc here, he's got sort of the snout, sort of pointed face, a little bit more than his human-like face. This guy, looks like he's got the little plastic thing still around his mouth. That means he must have mouth articulation. Yes, he does. That is awesome. Looks fantastic. I have a Croc that I thought was the same as this guy. I didn't realize he had mouth articulation, so learned something new. Very scaly. He has a very lizard-like appearance, but this one has no tail, still standing up like a man. But this was when Croc was starting to turn more and more and more lizard-like in the comics. And if you think this guy is lizard-like, you should see what he looks like today. A tail, big old thin face, a little much. Sometimes he's depicted as a giant. He's got some wrap around his arms here. Looks like single-jointed elbows, single-jointed knees. Kind of stuck in a semi-crouching pose. I love the orange prison pants. The sculpting is very nice. I mean, look at that. Paint job is also very nice. That's one thing DC Direct did a great job on. Sculpt and paint. Although they always suffered in the articulation department and a lot of time the quality control. And now a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Scaly. Huge teeth. Terrifying. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his lack of accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 6.6 inches tall, which is going to translate to just under 17 centimeters. And keep in mind, this guy's in a crouching position. Killer Croc should be huge and massive. DC Direct figures are typically the 7-inch scale, although they're usually run, the older ones, by 6.7, 6.8 inches tall. Croc's crouched. Wish he was a little bit taller though. Still a big figure. Now for his articulation. Starting with his head. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. His ball joint can look up and down as well. Can rotate from side to side. Pretty good range of motion. Jaw articulation opens very wide. Very nicely done. Shoulders on a ball joint only goes out about that far. Not too much there. Up and down. No bicep cut. Single jointed elbows. They can fully extend. Come in about 90 degrees. Then he has traditional wrist rotation. Torso is one solid piece. Waist swivel. Legs, old style hips, simply goes up, down. They go back pretty far though. Single jointed knees, as far as they can go. And they can really go all the way inside. So, limited, but not horrible. Now let's check him out with the original release of this DC Direct Killer Croc. I got this guy on eBay loose a long time ago, and I believe his cloth ripped up shirt is an addition to the figure. Something the guy added and wasn't originally included. Pretty cool, so I kept it on there. Now, paint job is completely different on these two figures. You can see this guy has some paint chips. He's been through some stuff over the years. The wrap's different. The green a lot darker on the original figure. And I didn't even know his jaw's articulated. I don't see how I didn't know that. Maybe I'd just forgotten. Haven't really messed with this guy in quite a while. He's got blue jeans, orange prison pants. Happy to add this variant to the collection. Been wanting to do that for quite a while. Here he is, next to all of my DC Direct and DC Collectibles Killer Croc figures. I believe I have every single variation at this point. Then, next to the McFarlane DC Multiverse Killer Croc. And here he is, next to all of my Mattel Killer Croc figures. Then, next to an older Kenner Killer Croc figure. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures that are not Killer Croc, but I use them as Killer Croc fill-ins, and they hang out on my Killer Croc shelf. Here he is, next to a couple of Fury Planet, Crocker, Wilderness Hunter figures. Then, next to a lizard figure from the Spider-Man film. And now, next to a NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series Leatherhead figure. And here, next to Mattel Wrestling mutated figure of Bray Wyatt. Here's my entire Killer Croc action figure collection. There are a ton of them at this point. I believe I have every single one in the 6 and 7 inch scale. There is one by Kenner. It's from a Batman line called Night Force Ninjas. He's a little bigger than most 5-inch figures, but I think he's still smaller than 6-inch scale. I'll have to keep my eye out for him. He's pretty cheap on eBay. And here he is, next to some actual crocodile figures. Now let's look at the Joker. And it turns out this guy was originally released in a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Straight Jacket DC Direct Anniversary Pack. That one had blue pants, which is cool by me, as I think the orange pants are much preferable on a Joker with a straight jacket. So let's take a look. His face, it looks fantastic. Excellent sculpt. Excellent paint job, excellent expression, very well done. Then we have the straitjacket. You can see it all the way connected to the back there. The sleeves go all the way around. Looks great. The figure sculpt and paint job are excellent. Articulation leaves a lot to be desired. Pants, God, I don't know if it's blood or mud all over it. You can see property of Arkham Asylum. Barefoot. Looks really nice. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt, and I must say, it is very impressive. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing out 6.8 inches tall, which can translate to just over 17 centimeters. Now for his articulation. Like I said, it's quite limited. His head, it's on a ball joint. Rotate from side to side, can look up and down a little bit, can sort of tilt, but not very much. Absolutely no articulation in his torso here, one solid piece, and it makes sense. What are you going to do? Sort of wiggle his arm still in the jacket. His waist, he's got a waist swivel, rotate around. Then he's got old style hips. It does allow his torso to go up and down. So he goes forward about that far, back all the way. Single jointed knee, 90-degree bend in his ankle. There's very minor rotation there. Now this is not the only Joker figure I have that's in a straitjacket. Here he is next to the Mafex Jared Leto Joker from Suicide Squad. This uses alternate parts from a future figure that you can use to alter this Joker into a straitjacket. Now I know Mattel also made a straitjacket Joker in the Batman animated line, 5-inch scale. Now let's check him out, next to some Joker figures from different various companies. Here he is, next to several other DC Direct and DC Collectibles Joker figures. Then, with even more DC Direct and DC Collectibles Joker figures. Then, next to several different McFarlane DC Multiverse Joker figures. Here he is, next to a NECA Joker. Then, with a few Mezco 112 Collective Joker figures. And here, next to some Mattel Joker figures. Then, next to some Mafex Joker figures. And now, next to some SH Figure Arts Joker figures. Now let's take a look at the Penguin. He's the only one of these figures that comes with an accessory, his umbrella. This Penguin is a really short figure. Doesn't seem to have a lot of articulation. So looking at his face here, he does have that sort of monstrous look to him. But he's a gangster in a white suit. He's got a monocle, a chain hanging down, silver vest, black shirt, blue tie, white jacket. Even his nails are kind of long. Looks like his legs have absolutely no articulation. Jacket's soft. Nice looking figure. A little bit smaller than I'd like. But he kind of has that gangster, but sort of horrific at the same time look going on. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Now let's check out his accessory. It's an umbrella. It's totally closed. Got, I don't know, bird's head at the top, I guess. Here it is, next to the single version of Penguin's umbrella. Here he is, holding his umbrella. He can hold it like a weapon, or he can kind of hold it like a staff while he's walking. Now for his height, and he's a pretty short figure. From bottom to the top of his head, about 4.25 inches tall, which can translate to just under 11 centimeters. Now for his articulation, and it's quite limited. His head can rotate from side to side. Shoulders go up and down, no problem. His elbow, here it is completely extended, goes in about 90 degrees. His wrist has traditional rotation. And his waist can swivel just a little bit. That's all we got going here in the articulation department. Now let's check him out with the original release of this Penguin. It's the exact same figure. Paint job's totally different. Head looks about the same, but of course he's got a white suit. He's got a black suit, silver vest, black shirt, white shirt, blue tie, red tie, black slacks versus white slacks. Here are all of my DC Direct and DC Collectibles Penguin figures. There's at least 2 of those I'm looking for. Dark Victory and Silver Age Penguin. And here he is, next to a couple of DST or Diamond Select Toys Gotham Penguin figures. Then, next to my McFarlane Penguin figures. And here, next to a Yamato Penguin. Then, with all of my Mattel Penguin figures. And here he is, next to an older Kenner Penguin. Here are all of my Penguin figures. And there are a few that I'm missing. Wouldn't mind adding them to the collection. And here he is, next to a bunch of actual penguins. Now let's take a look at Batman. This is a modern Batman, black-gray outfit, bat symbol with the yellow oval, capsule utility belt. Looks really good, pretty big, pretty buff. It's the same sculpt as the Batman and Son Batman, but the head is different. I don't know if it's unique for this set. That's pretty cool if it is. It looks pretty good. Longer ears, square jaw, some wrinkles on the forehead, wide eyes. Going further down, yellow oval around the bat symbol, capsule utility belt, looks pretty nice. Articulation, single jointed elbows, big thick buff arms. Cape is really long, flowing. It's going to help stand. It's kind of rubbery, about that far. Single jointed knees from side to side, at least decent a little bit. Figure, but limited shoulders articulation. On ball joint, but man, and they barely go out at all. And face sculpt up, out a little bit. Pretty nice face sculpt there. Single jointed elbow, serious modern Batman. A little bit less than 90 degrees, but pretty close. Height. He's got bottom to the top of his head, sort of a wrist cut here, 6.75 inches tall, which can translate to about 17 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, doesn't feel like it moves at all. Okay. Old style hips. They go forward about that far, back about that much. Single jointed knee, and that is it. He does look good, and the head has good mobility, but the rest is pretty rough and limited. I do like that belt. Here he is, next to the Batman and Son DC Direct Batman. It's the same body, but has a different head and different belt than this figure. They're both modern Batman figures, with totally different looks. Black-gray with the yellow oval, blue-gray without the oval, different kind of belts. Both very nice head sculpts, short ears, long ears. This one has a little bit more personality. The difference in the symbol, the difference in the belts. But it's the same figure. You can even see the wrinkles around the crotch area. Everything else is identical. Now let's check them out. Next to some other Batman figures. Starting off with some other DC Direct Batman figures. In front of you are 5 different DC Direct Batman action figures, all 7-inch scale. Then, with even more DC Direct Batman figures, here he is. Next to some McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman figures. Then, next to some NECA Batman figures. And here, next to some Mezco 112 Collective Batman figures. And now, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse Batman figures. And here, next to some Mayfix Batman figures. And finally, next to some SH Figure Arts Batman figures. So overall, it's a pretty nice action figure set. Happy to finally complete my Croc collection. Really happy to have this Joker in the straight jacket. Paint on the white suit. I'm not a huge fan of this mold and figure. A little bit too small and unarticulated. And it's a nice Batman, but there are so many better options nowadays. If I were to rate these figures, I'd probably give Croc an 8 out of 10. It's a very nice sculpt, although a little bit limited on the articulation department. Joker, a nice strong 7. I really like that sculpt. He's going to be useful for action figure photography. Joker in a straight jacket, Arkham jumpsuit. Penguin, I mean, he looks good for what they were going for, but he's just so small, and he just looks monstrous. It's like they went with the comic version and mixed in some monstrosities and made him super little and unarticulated. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. And then Batman here, very strong sculpt, limited articulation. He's also going to get a 7. Nice looking Batman. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.